So yeah. Hey, what's going on? This is Instructor Mike, and we're gonna go on ahead and just have a conversation about a few things because it's been a minute since I've been live, and we're gonna talk about some things because that's important to talk about things. Um, let's dive right into it. Um, Hope you're doing well. What's going on, you guys? I haven't seen you guys in quite some time. So, the purpose of this live is to talk about the question: can attorneys on retainer represent you in a criminal trial or in a criminal matter in the state of Illinois? Those of you all who have followed me and have subscribed to my channel, my page, stuff like that, you know that I'm in Chicago, and Chicago is in Cook County. I mean, after all, how could you not know I'm in Chicago? I mean, I said I'm in Chicago before. And, there are a lot of people who like to use Chicago as a buzzword to talk about the rampant crime and things like that. But it's also good that we've been seeing persons actually defending themselves in criminal matters, in terms of not criminal law or criminal cases, but actually using their firearms to defend themselves. And that's been great to see. But what happens when you actually use your firearm and you need competent legal representation? Competent legal representation. That matters. You know, just because somebody has a law degree doesn't absolutely mean they can represent you efficiently and effectively in a court of law. And so that's what I want to focus on this live. And by the way, any type of information that I use is fair use pursuant to Title 17 United States Code, Section 107, for criticism, teaching, and whatnot. Let's go on ahead and dive right into it. I hope you guys are having a great day. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and dive into it. So, what you see right here on the screen is from none other than attorneys on retainer. Now, there has been this constant back and forth, and there have been countless of questions that have been asked of me. Mike, what type of concealed carry insurance or what type of products or services should I use? Because I want to be able to protect myself. I want to be able to uh, protect myself in court, and that matters. So I can't tell you what to do in your state. You've heard me say this often. You've heard me say that systems are not just process, they are people. Systems are not just process, they are people. How many of y'all actually believe that to be the case? Systems are not just process, they are in fact people. Okay. So let's go on ahead and dive into it. So, what we have right here is straight from attorneys on retainer. Now, I'm not going to get into the fight between what one influencer says or another influencer. Hey, and trust me, I already know this video is going to be attacked. I know that. I mean, that comes with it. That comes with it. But I'm still going to talk about it. So, in the circuit court of Cook County, I've been in that system, right, as a police officer, arresting people and bringing cases to the state's attorneys and being before the court, stuff like that. I've also been in that system on the other side too, as a defendant. And I could tell you that most people have not been in that circumstance. And I guess that's a great thing. Like we would say in society, that's a great thing, but it can happen to anyone. That's the thing. It can happen to anyone. So let's go on ahead and dive into it. Here, what you see right here is directly from Attorneys on Retainer. Now, Attorneys on Retainer is a legal firm that operates out of Arizona. And you're going to see in these messages that they are directly out of Arizona. And when you go to these different websites, you'll see that they have the little chat box here, or you could text or whatever the case may be. Hi, ask me questions, and let's see what I say, right? So that's what you see right here. The ask me questions. Let's see what you say, right? So let's go ahead and go over them. This is attorneys on retainer, privacy and client attorney privilege disclaimer. Note, until a contract is signed with the attorney, an attorney-client relationship is not established. However, we will not share your information with anyone other than the attorney. So a Braden Victor has connected, and the person asked specifically, do you have attorneys in Illinois, specifically in Cook County? Why? This is important. This is very important. It's very important, right? To have local representation, because systems are not just paper, they are people. So the response is, good morning. Yes, we do. We would be your attorneys, and we would hire and pay for the best attorney in your area to work with us. To work with us. So working with us implies that they are going to lead the charge in your criminal defense matter. Is that a good idea? Let's continue. How quickly is that completed? Would I have an attorney at my detention hearing? I'm sorry, I skipped over one. I cannot skip over one. Create a full defense team for you. Create a full defense team for you. So we got to, do that. Here we go. How quickly is that completed? Would I have an attorney at my detention hearing 48 hours after the arrest? What's the response? I cannot promise any time frame, as each incident is different. We will move very quickly, and we will have someone there to fight for you, right? For sure within 48 hours, if not much faster than that. So is there a possibility I would not have an attorney while being interrogated in Chicago? The response is, the second we hear of anything, or we hear of the incident, we drop everything and move as fast as we possibly can. That is not a yes or no answer. That's not a yes or no answer. In fact, it really implies that there is no guarantee. As they have said, they cannot promise, right? So there is no guarantee that I would have an attorney in 48 hours. Again, I cannot promise any time frame, as each incident is different. As each incident is different. Now, they say that they operate through a thing called pro hoc vice. Pro hoc vice, right? What, if anything, does that mean? Well, they are licensed to only practice law in the state of Arizona. They're only licensed to practice law in the state of Arizona. And I want you to see directly from them that they do, in fact, disclose this. They are only licensed to practice law in the state of Arizona. So if they're only licensed to practice law in the state of Arizona, what relationships have they built with the court system in your state, in your county? See, you all see certain cases like the people of the state of Illinois, or the people of the state of California, or the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, or the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. You see those statements, or those headings, if you will, in these various court cases. But at what level are these cases? What you got? City, county, state, federal. At what level are most cases? County, county, county. And so just like you have a state bar, you have the county bar associations too. What relationships have they built That's very, very, very important. What relationships have they built? I'm very curious about that. What relationships have they built? And so the person then begins to ask that question. I'm going to go on ahead and put this on the screen. Are you licensed to practice law in Illinois? Are you licensed to practice law in Illinois? That's it. Would you think that was an important question? I think it was. I think that's an important question to ask, right? We have a large network of attorneys that we have used that are also 24/7. We would also be available for you the entire time as your lead counsel. Lead counsel. Lead counsel. Lead. So this isn't anything that I'm making up. Didn't I say this before? That this implies that they are the lead counsel. Well, now it's not even an implication. You see it right here on the screen. We would be your lead counsel the second you call our emergency line. I ask of you, what relationship do you have with anyone with the Chicago Police Department? Do you have any experience with any of the detectives in homicide? Do you know anything about Area 1 detectives, Area 2 detectives, Area 3, Area 4, Area 5 detectives? Do you know what district lockup is in Area 2? This is in Cook County. Do you know if I gave you an address, 16501 South Kedzie Avenue, Markham, Illinois, would you even know the significance of what that address is? 2650 South California, Chicago, Illinois. Do you know what the significance of that address is? Do you know what the significance of that address is? And so you get certain people that come on that say, Mike is USCCA bought as usual. Lead until they can get over there. We're just going to go on ahead and remove that person because I don't have time for that. This stuff is too important to allow detractors to distract you where you live. You. Most of my following is wherever they are across my two platforms that have the biggest following, 3.5 million folks. But a great percentage of you are in Cook County. And you come and you take my classes along with other people who teach concealed carry in the state of Illinois, in the county of Cook, who are deciding to exercise their rights. Look, I can't tell you what to do in Arizona. I can't encourage you what to do in California. I can't encourage you what to do someplace else. You have to do what's best for you in your jurisdiction where you are. But here you see someone looking to get assistance, seeking and inquiring and asking the right questions to vet their counsel. And they're not telling tales. They're not lying. I can give attorneys on retainer credit about that. They're not lying about the fact that although attorneys for freedom, attorneys are admitted to practice law only in Arizona. What does that mean? They only have relationships in Arizona. Maricopa County, maybe, right? If you're in Phoenix, attorneys on retainer, maybe. I don't know. I don't know, right? What I'm saying is this. Cook County. Oh, thank you, Emma. There we go. Off topic, but I used your technique today when I got pulled over. It worked wonders. Thank you for teaching us right. It's comments like these with outcomes like these that make what I've done in those traffic stop pullover videos worthwhile. I am telling you from actual operational experience, having been a police officer and having conducted thousands of traffic stops using the best practices that will put you in the best position that helps you understand the officer and the fears they face, as well as your fears you may face, if any at all, to give both parties the outcomes that they need. Thank you, Emma. Thank you for that. So let's talk about this thing called pro hoc vice, because that's what you see right here. We can get admitted. We can get admitted to the practice of law in your state through the operation of the pro hoc vice. So let's talk about pro hoc vice. First of all, pro hoc vice. Bam, there we go. We're going to Cornell Law School, right? Pro hoc vice is a law Latin term that means for this time only, literally for this term. When a lawyer is admitted to a case pro hoc vice, the court has granted them a limited license to practice in a jurisdiction where they otherwise would not be licensed to do so, right? So in looking at that, let's look at the Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission in the state of Illinois. The Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission in the state of Illinois, right? Pro hoc vice, pursuant to Supreme Court Rule 707, permission of out-of-state attorney to provide legal service in proceedings in Illinois. It grants eligible lawyers from other jurisdictions immediate authorization to appear in Illinois proceedings upon the filing of a verified statement by an out-of-state lawyer and the filing of an appearance by associated local counsel. In other words, they have to be tagged in with local counsel. But guess what they said they were going to operate as? Here we go. The lead counsel. So how are you going to operate tagging with local counsel, but you're going to take the lead in a county where you have zero relationships? Zero relationships. So how do you even know that this counsel is good counsel to even pay for? How do you even know that See, it's a total difference when you're saying we are going to pay for the counsel that's going to represent you. But that's not what you said here. You said we would also be available for you the entire time as your lead counsel. Your lead. They didn't say second chair, third chair, offering advice, consent, support. The lead counsel. Words have meanings. Lead counsel. Lead counsel. So let's get back over here to the ARDC. Because with the ARDC, do you know they have to pay a fee? The standard fees for out-of-state attorneys appearing in Illinois proceedings pursuant to Rule 707 are as follows. A one-time non-refundable, one-time non-refundable fee of $250 for each proceeding in which the lawyer appears. Each proceeding in which the lawyer appears. And an annual ARDC registration fee of $100. You think you got time? You think you are sitting in a county jail. You are sitting at Cook County Jail. Cook County Jail. I don't think some of y'all really understand. You sitting here at Cook County Jail, awaiting your attorney to go through all the, and by the way, about 5-10 days approximate, 5 to 10 days approximate for them to be granted to appear as the lead counsel. Lead counsel. Your Honor, for the record, such and such here on behalf of attorneys on retainer seeking leave to file my appearance, pro hoc vice. Well, we know what pro hoc vice is. Did you file with the ARDC, the proper, and pay the filing fee? Now they got to go through this whole separate, did you do this before we even attend to your matters? Now they're using different terminology that may apply in Arizona that may not necessarily apply in here before the Honorable Judge Charles Beach, before the Honorable Judge Miriam Ahmad, before the Honorable Judge. Come on now, need I even drop more names? What relationships do you know these attorneys and judges, they're all in the same bar and they all go to the same functions and whatnot. Come on now. This is not just paper, it's people. And they want to be the lead attorney. The lead attorney. And that matters. You even have other attorneys who write. Shouts out to these folks at MRD Lawyers. They're not in Chicago, but just something you could just Google. Why is it best to hire a local attorney? Shouts out to the lawyers at MRD Lawyers, right? If you're facing criminal charges and you're in need of a criminal attorney, you may wonder if it's better to hire an attorney from out of state or one who practices in your local area. The truth is, when it comes to criminal defense, it's always best to hire a local attorney. Here's why. Local attorneys know local judges. First and foremost, local attorneys know the local judges. They have experience dealing with them and they understand their tendencies and their preferences. What if this attorney likes sports references? What if this attorney doesn't really favor clients who, wear this style of clothing or do, because systems are not just paper, they're people. This knowledge can be crucial in building a defense strategy that will work in your favor. For example, if your case goes to trial, the local attorney will know which arguments will be more persuasive with the judge or even the jury. Do you know the community? Do you know the city of Chicago? Or are you going to get these attorneys on retainer who, by the way, have been buying into the media rhetoric that Chicago is just this violent place? And are they going to come in with their theories of what if they say something that's insensitive to the mood and speed of the jurors? What if they come in and say something that doesn't even take into consideration the the policies and the feelings that people have about crime in the area? We've had attorneys say, let me go on my own YouTube page because I don't want you to sit there and say I said anything. I want you to hear it directly from a doggone attorney himself. Y'all read this while I find this. Y'all read this because I need y'all to see this. I need y'all to see this. I need y'all to see that it is not a standard by which you can just it's not self-defense really is not necessarily a global standard. You may have things that are on paper, but you have to understand that it's also a standard by which the community decides what they will accept is or is not self-defense. What they decide is or is not self-defense. And if you don't understand that, you're going to find yourself in a world of trouble. And to think that attorneys on retainer, I mean, granted, sounds good, but is it good? Sounds good, but is it good? I would argue this is something you need to reconsider. If the case goes to trial, the local attorney will know which arguments will be more persuasive with the judge and how to tailor those arguments to the judge's particular sensibilities. This kind of local knowledge can be the difference between winning and losing your case. I had to find that out personally. I had a situation where I ended up hiring my friend who was an attorney out of county. We ain't even talking out of state, just simply out of county. And he was trying to practice law before this judge. Didn't fare too well. So I ended up having to fire him and get another attorney who was in that county, a retired judge who went back into the practice of law. And the outcome was a not guilty verdict. You know who made that possible? USCCA. I joined them. I wasn't thinking about using them. The arrogance of me being a police officer, thinking I can use somebody. Oh, I don't need to use them just yet. I'll just use my friend. to represent me. Worst mistake ever. Just because he wears a nice suit and calls himself a lawyer doesn't mean he knows how to operate and practice in every state, in every county. USCCA has those vetted attorneys. Yes, even the strong and the knowledgeable need people who know better than them. I'm just saying. Do you want to put yourself in that type of situation? And by the way, I mean, we could talk about the cease and desist letter that they were issued by the state of Connecticut, but that was about insurance. Presumably operating as an insurance company, providing some type of product. Look, we ain't gonna even get to all that. I just want you to look into the situation of, can they represent you? Do you have time to get a otherwise experienced attorney? I have nothing to suggest they are not experienced attorneys. I have nothing whatsoever to suggest that they are not experienced attorneys. I cannot even put those words together. I'm responsible for what I say. I'm responsible for what I say. But are they experienced in Cook County? Are they experienced in the state where you are? The answer is obviously no. The answer is obviously no. It's obviously no. No, they would have to do a pro hoc vice process and then go in and then practice. Hope this would work. We hope that. Are you going to leave it to chance to hope that this would work for you? I mean, it's your life. Look, whatever you choose to do, that's okay. That's on you. That's on you. But you're choosing to allow them to, or anyone to, practice on you. I just don't know if I would do that. I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that at all. Let's get to this last point. Look, the fact is you're probably going to get arrested. That's the fact of the matter. I wish I could say that you're not going to get arrested. You said they are experienced where you live, so that's who you utilize. Okay, if it works for you, it works for you. But let me ask you this question. What cases have they won? And if you know the cases they've won and their experience where you are, hats off to you, TNT. You've always supported me in this channel. So I trust you. You're the one that's going to have to reap whatever the rewards or consequences. Either way, I mean, consequences aren't bad. It's just simply neutral. It's what it is, but you're the one that's going to have to deal with the consequences of whatever. And if it works in your area, then that's fine. It's fine. But in Cook County, especially after this is information I already knew. So I needed no convincing. I already know. They don't have any experience in this area in Cook County. None. You will likely get arrested. You will need an attorney who knows the county and the court system well, and the people. Pro hoc vice takes about approximately 5 to 10 days with the Attorney Registration Disciplinary Commission in Illinois, and that's approximate. It could be less, it could be more. You're in the lockup. You're being interrogated. I mean, if it takes a little minute for if it takes a little minute for a local attorney to get here, what about the lead counsel from Arizona? How fast you think they are going to get here? You don't have that kind of time to wait on attorneys on retainer. Not if you in Cook County. If it works where you work at and where you live at, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, no issues. But you don't have, if you're in Cook County and you listen to me, you don't have that kind of time. You don't have that kind of time to wait. This is chess before checkers. The United States Concealed Carry, the USCCA, they've got over 1,200 vetted criminal defense attorneys. And I can tell you, one of them, thank you, Dale, one of them is my very good, who I know his work. I've used his work. I've used it. I know. Oh, come on. Here we go. Dave McDermott. Look him up. Dave McDermott from McDermott Law Group. Not your typical attorneys. Not your typical attorneys. He's an outstanding criminal litigator who I've seen, perhaps on the other side. He was the defense attorney. I was the cop. I've seen him work. He's a vociferous advocate. And I'm sure there are others, but you got to make sure that the attorney that you use is an attorney who actually is licensed to practice law in the state that you are in and has a relationship. What did you just see here? Local attorneys know local judges. They're experienced in dealing with them. In contrast, if you hire an out-of-state attorney, they may not be familiar with the local legal system. They may not know the judges, the prosecutors, or the law enforcement, or understand the local customs and practices. This can put you at a significant disadvantage when it comes to defending your case. This is trial practice. Systems are not just paper. They are people who have emotions and temperances. And right, try that in a small town. You can't try that here. It's so much stuff. Local attorneys are more look, oh, here we go. However, even with a pro hoc vice, an out-of-state attorney may not have the same local knowledge, relationships, and credibility as a local attorney. Hiring a local attorney is always best when you're facing criminal charges. I'm not going to get into that back and forth. I refuse to get into that back and forth with a specific content creator who likely has never been arrested. Cool. In our society, we would say that's a cool thing. Oh my God, it's great. But if the FBI goes and learns about serial deleters from serial deleters, right? If other people who want to know about the other side go talk to those people you got to talk to somebody who's actually been in situations where they've actually had to use the services they recommend and the outcomes. Hello. Right? Why would you talk to somebody who's never been they can't represent you here. You don't have to like me. There is a book called The Courage to Be Disliked. You don't have to like me, but you need to listen. I encourage you to listen to wisdom when wisdom speaks. I'm not going to face your outcomes. You're not going to face mine. Does that make sense? You're not going to face mine, and I'm not going to face yours. When you are out there having to defend yourself with your chosen everyday carry, you're the one that's going to have the wisdom preloaded in your mind to where you're maybe 90% ready, and then you're able to call audibles on the field of battle when you have to do certain things. But after that self-defense incident, Are you going to have someone who knows the process? How many times do we hear where local prosecutors decide what they're going to charge and what they're not going to charge? What they've done in this case versus what they've done in that case. Things change every day. Are you going to chance it with someone who said they can't defend you by themselves? You asked a wonderful question. Have you experienced judges being biased against out of state lawyers simply because they are from out of state? I've experienced them acting differently towards them. Yes. Yes. I mean, they're people. We don't know you. They still have to maintain a professional decorum, but we don't know this guy. And then you're coming in here, you're stumbling upon things that lawyers in this. Oh, are you? And here you are as the defendant. Maybe if you have a bit of awareness, just a bit of awareness about what's going on, and you can interpret what they're saying, you're sitting here like, and you can tell there's back and forth between the judge and the attorney. Oh, do you want to chance that? I wouldn't. I'd make a motion for a continuance and see if I can have the attorney withdraw as the attorney of record and give me time to find a new counsel. That's what I had to do. I had to do that because my friend didn't know how to represent me in a case that was out of the county that we both operated in. He didn't have relationship. That's when I found out, oh, so there's differences in the counties too? Shit, you mean I can't use you from Cook County in, damn. You don't want to find that out. You don't want to find that out. I'm just telling you, do what you feel you can afford, right? Now, I already know this video is going to be made fun of by a content creator whose name I'm not going to say because I'm not going to make him relevant on my channel no more than I already have. But I'm not going to get into that fight. You got to make the choice for you. You got to make the choice for you. Okay. All right. So I'm out of here. Got to go to the gym and work out. That needs to happen for sure because I definitely feel it. This is Instructor Mike, and you've been trained. I hope y'all continue to watch this video, share it, whatever the case may be. Make the choice that's good for you. Don't make the choice that's good for me or what I recommend, whatever the case may be. You got to make the choice that's good for you. If they work in your area, hey, outstanding. But you better ask those good questions. You better ask those right questions. You better ask those right questions. I can't emphasize this enough. Are you licensed in Illinois? You're only licensed to practice law in Arizona. We would be your lead counsel. How you going to be lead counsel in a place where you ain't even licensed to practice law? So if you ain't licensed to practice law, you definitely didn't build the relationships here. So how you going? How? That's the context that you don't know. That's the context you don't know. And that's a no for me, Jack. That's a no for me. All right, y'all. Peace. We'll talk soon.